Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from North Dakota, Mr. Kramer.
The gentleman from North Dakota is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the gentleman for yielding. Mr. Speaker, it's no secret that a reliable supply of electricity is important to us on many levels, from human health and, of course, to commercial productivity. As a former public service commissioner, I can tell you that one of the main reasons for large outages is trees growing in power lines. One of the reasons for forest fires oftentimes is power lines falling in the forest. Fires get the power lines create fires, and this bill, I think, helps alleviate some of that. With consumers and regulators demanding, of course, reliable service, and the utility companies' natural incentive to keep the sale of electrons flowing, vegetation management has improved tremendously over the years. However, deep within the lands that are managed by our federal agencies, the potential for problems persists. My bill creates a pilot program, as the chairman described, for utility companies to partner with the Forest Service to voluntarily perform vegetation management proactively. Under Forest Service approval, utilities can propose a plan to selectively manage vegetation within 75 feet of their right-of-way with the least amount of disturbances as reasonably possible and outside of designated wilderness areas, a very important point. All of that work would be paid for by the utility company, not by the federal government. Currently, this off of right-of-way work is the responsibility of the government, and with a strict liability standard, Mr. Speaker, to any utility company to step in and help. There's not an incentive. In fact, there's a disincentive for them to do so. So under the pilot program, these activities will be subject to a more appropriate standard of liability, a gross negligence standard, along with any specific safety imposed under the programs in agreement with the Forest Service. It removes the barrier for utility companies to carry out this important work not currently being done by them, to reduce direct impacts to damage utility infrastructure and the amount of fuel for possible forest. There's a lot of bipartisan support for this. I appreciate my friends in the more mountainous and more forested regions than the prairies of North Dakota on both sides of the aisle, and I know there's good support in the Senate as well. So I urge all of my colleagues to support this important bill. Thank you, and yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back.